you, don't worry. But
Okay.
now we're recording. So, Karina, I wanted to definitely hop on this call because you have been a diligent client of mine, hitting the
Mm-hmm.
workouts consistently, hitting your tasks as well, but even doing one of the hardest things to do, and that's staying consistent on nutrition, hitting your macronutrients. But you know what? Funny enough, you came on the program and you seemed like you were eating good and healthy already. It was just
Mm-hmm.
aligning your macros together for it to make sense, right? So I wanted to ask you a couple questions. What really made
Sure.
you hop on the program, and what were your goals initially?
Well, my goals initially were definitely to, like you mentioned, I already kind of consider myself to be eating kind of on the healthier side. So mainly the goal was to really tone and really see some definition, right, on some of the muscles. I've always kind of been somewhat active here and there, but maybe not as consistent. So definitely that was my goal to be able to actually see, right, the results of working hard or working at something.
Hmm.
So that was my initial kind of push to wanted to join a program. And then, I was recommended, one of your other clients,
Yeah.
my dear friend,
Mhm.
was the one who suggested that, I started working with you, which I'm so glad that she did.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Hmm.
So another question, how have you benefited from utilizing the app that the program provides, as well as tracking your macros and your meals?
The app has been really great for me. I think one of the challenges for me were really just knowing what to do and just having it there to kind of help me
Hmm.
and guide me, like what to do first, second, third, as it relates to the workouts.
Hmm.
So that's been super helpful for me. Definitely with the nutrition, although I was eating healthier, it was really eye-opening to see, okay, be more diligent about what I'm eating, like more prepping ahead of time and making sure that I focus on the right things, right? Definitely the protein and things like that when we're trying to build muscle. And just becoming like more aware because there's just so much stuff out there, right? That having you to kind of explain the kind of whys behind it and why we kept changing, right? The the numbers, it's
Hmm.
super helpful to really know that you're getting the right information, right? Not just something that's somebody just posted on the internet.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So from beginning a program or even before starting a program till now, how confident are you in getting your protein and even tracking it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely like more confidence. I don't want to say 100% because I don't want to brag too much, but there's always opportunities to do better. But I think definitely more comfortable on seeing something and being
Hmm.
able to kind of gauge, okay, I know I need to add more of this, or I'm slacking here, I need to add, more here. So it's definitely made me more self-conscious, but in a good
Hmm.
way, right? To be just more mindful of what I need to shift throughout the day to make sure that I hit the numbers or be as close as possible.
Hmm. I think you're being quite modest though. I feel like your protein I feel like your protein intake, like I feel like you're like solid. It's just the
Hmm.
other ones are balancing the carbs and the fats. That's what we had like more like, okay, we could balance this out, getting that, right? But your protein, I feel like you got well relatively quickly. And
Hmm.
also too consistent. I think that's the most important part, being consistent with getting your protein,
Hmm.
right? So now, how have you benefited from having your own tailored workouts to you in a gym, right? Something completely different from what you're used to. You're used to more, aerobic training, but going to a gym environment was completely new. So
Hmm.
how did that help?
That has been really super helpful in many ways. I think primarily to the level of confidence in being able to really not just look at the workout, but be able to move around the gym with
Hmm.
confidence, right? Although, I'm working at a gym that's really, at work and there's not a lot of people there, like,
Hmm.
not a regular gym, but still like just being able to have the confidence to again to set up the machines and go from one to the next and just really not feel too dumb about it, like not knowing what to do, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And then just being frustrated and being like, okay, I'm not gonna do that because it's just too much work. Just kind of
Hmm.
sticking to it. It's been really helpful, and also the communication back and forth with you on, the videos about, okay, am I doing this right? And not
Hmm.
feel like I was just left to figure it out by myself. I think that's
Hmm.
also really, really important to have that support as well.
Hmm. 100%. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Hmm.
And now you seem like you could navigate almost most gyms, right? With
Hmm.
the equipment and everything, even on vacation, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Yes. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So now, what was helpful about having daily habits and goals?
I think daily habits are really important, and I think we all get really busy in our daily routines, right, into just life itself. And sometimes we forget about really the important things that are really focusing on ourselves. And having that, although it's like, me and list of to-dos, right? So even though it was one more thing to check off the list, right, I think it's really helpful just to get you into the habit of not forgetting about me or about ourselves, right? And
Hmm.
just making sure that regardless of the day that you have, that you always go back to that and say, okay, what's really important to me and what are the things that I really want to make sure that I get done today, right? That's really just for me. So
Hmm.
that has been really helpful. And I think also the flexibility of talking through, okay, what do you want to do that, like, what do you want to change it up to, right? Like, it wasn't
Hmm.
something that you kind of listed, you kind of like, what do you want to focus on, and just be able to, make me think about, okay, what do I want to focus on, right? Something different that maybe I
Hmm.
hadn't considered before.
Hmm.
So that was helpful as well.
That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So now, okay, could you tell us about how it was having a coach and even just your overall experience in being coached with this program?
I mean, having a coach has been really an excellent experience for me. I haven't done it before, and I think having that relationship with you, I really think
Hmm.
that you genuinely care about your clients. I don't know that I would call myself a client. Like, I think, it sounds like kind of like too
Hmm.
formal, right? But I think that you
Yeah.
genuinely, I know I am, but you
Hmm.
genuinely care about, me personally, and really what are my goals, and being able to change things up and be flexible when life gets in the way, right? And sometimes
Hmm.
we have to modify things. So I think that has been um, really invaluable to me personally, right? In my journey with you as my coach, which it's going to be almost a year in August, but I think it's
Hmm.
been a great journey and relationship. I think it's not just your typical,
Hmm.
coach client, I don't think anyways, but
Yeah.
um it has been really a great journey for me thus far. What was the
Oh
second
man.
part of the question? Because I think I forgot the second part.
No, I think that went a line. It was like
Okay.
the overall experience.
Hmm.
But
I
I
would do it
appreciate that
again.
though.
I would do it again. I think, sometimes we hesitate because, of course, sometimes, I mean, money does make a difference and things that, right,
Yeah.
other priorities, but I think we have to kind of refocus on really the priority of ourselves, our health. And it's a great investment, and I would do it. Oh, I wish I would have done it sooner. A little bit,
Mm, yeah.
younger, I would say, right? But we
Hmm.
just kind of learn as we go through life. But
Hmm.
yeah,
That's
I don't
awesome.
regret it.
I
Hmm.
appreciate that a lot. I was gonna say, that was my next question. Like, what would you tell someone who is on the fence about hopping onto the program, right? Who's
Hmm.
absolutely new to a gym, not knowing anything about their macros or anything, who wants to see progress? What would you say to them?
I would say, um, I would say take that leap of faith. I
Hmm.
think sometimes we hesitate because we just don't know.
Hmm.
And I think just being able to just work with you one on one, the flexibility of the program where you can choose how long you want to be in the program.
Hmm.
I started, on a short time basis, and I've continued to extend it because you do see results if you stick with it. If I don't see as much progress, it's because it's my own personal like sla
Yeah.
if I took a little break here and there, but I think the great thing is that, you can always get back into your routine,
Mm,
um, and be encouraged by what you see, not just physically, but I think a big part of it is also, um, mentally, the
hmm
mental component of how it helps you, especially if you have a stressful job or, a lot going on with family and things like that, where we're
hmm
running all day long. I think just taking that time in the gym is just you in the gym and it's just really focusing on you 100%.
hmm
So I would say, you can give up that cup of coffee at Starbucks, or something else where you can give something up to if you need to save the money that is going to be an investment on you and your health. And
hmm
as someone who has been through, some medical challenges and are on the other side, I can tell you that it's always better to do that investment earlier on
mm.
than later in life. So that would be my suggestion.
That is an awesome suggestion. Karina, thank you so much for all your words, and I appreciate everything you have to say too, and the
You're
work that you put
welcome.
in too. Girl, you've
You're
been putting in the
welcome.
work, and even being more confident, getting stronger too, making gains as well.
Making gains. You got to
That's
see
it.
those gains.
That's true, buddy. Thank you so much for this interview again, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.